It's showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
Well, I certainly hope you're enjoying a nice bowl of Rocky Road or chocolate chip mint or maybe even some plain old vanilla, perhaps with some peanut butter magic shell and maybe... Okay, no, I've gone too far. Let me interrupt your ice cream bonanza and prepare yourself to be tantalized by the musings of Mandy Kaplan and the next reel's own living fresh maker, Steve Sarmento. I'm Rob Cabasco, and if it's Saturday, you know what that means. It's Saturday Matinée. Mandy and Steve, how are you doing?
I feel drunk now. I don't know what that was.
This is how it always begins with me or Kyle. Like, what happened to this podcast? What is going on?
And Steve has a cool name like the Fresh Maker. I want a nickname.
Yeah. Well, that's from when I was in college. It was, the Mentos ads were all over the place. And it's like, it's Steve Sarmento with one Mentos. Yes.
I saw your reaction. I knew either you were going to just hugely eye roll me or you, which you should have, but because that was cheap. Okay, we'll work on that. Now, here it is. This is our weekly show. It's where the next reel team gets together to talk about news, reviews, new trailers, our weekly list challenges, and more. And when I say more on this Saturday, it means ice cream. Because did you know that the first Saturday of February is International Ice Cream for Breakfast Day? Yes, invented on a snowy winter day almost 60 years ago, a mother of 6 children by the name of Florence Rappaport in Rochester, New York, declared the first ice cream for breakfast day. It's speculated that this is 1966 because there was a great winter storm in 1966 in Rochester. She says it was to bemuse her children. It's because she was losing her mind. She had 6 children. The holiday spread across the globe. Florence's grandchildren, they traveled extensively. This holiday is celebrated in Nepal, Namibia, Germany, New Zealand, and Honduras. It's real.
In grad school, I wrote my thesis on it. Yeah, I didn't go to grad school either, but I thought I would try.
It's not ice cream day. It's ice cream for breakfast.
Ice cream for breakfast.
Okay.
Which is so odd. Now, look, here's the deal. I know on this Saturday in February, most of the world is either cold or even just maybe lukewarm. Here in Arizona, it's actually very warm.
Very nice.
But I will say this, as we get to the news, no matter where you are on the face of the globe, we all know golden days are ahead. Which brings us to our first news story. Golden Globe nominations are in, everyone.
I see what you did there, Rob.
They are.
I'm really stretching this. This
You're
has got to end. No, so we got Golden Globes. This is kind of cool. We get to talk about this. Obviously, there will be more discussion on this in the episodes ahead. The Golden Globes will not be until, I believe, my notes. Hold on. I'll get there. They take place on February 28th.
Oh,
on the National
corner.
Broadcast Network. So it's just a few weeks away. Right, yes. Exactly. Did you guys check these out? Any thoughts? Surprises?
Nope, moving on. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes. I was surprised at that this is apparently a record or a tie for a record of Sacha Baron Cohen having 3 nominations in 1 year of the Golden Globes. Apparently that's a tie, and so I had to dig into what is he nominated for, and I thought, oh, of course, the Trial of the Chicago 7, something we talked about on the next reel, and then I had forgotten that the Borat subsequent movie film would be taken in those comedy nominations as well. So hats off to him for the comedy and the drama, balancing both those sides and pulling in 3 nominations.
That's not. I don't think subsequent movie film appearing in the best motion picture musical or comedy category is any testament to the pickings that was the past year. I don't know. Maybe or not. Now, Mandy, here's the deal, though. Some news that I think you will appreciate. One of the most interesting things about this year is that for the first time, 3 of the best director nominees are females.
And this interests me because I am a female.
I'm a director.
No. I mean, come on. I was teeing this up. No, that's I think that's big news, especially because we talk about this. I know there's been underrepresentation in a lot of award categories throughout the last few years, and we've certainly we've talked about this. I think this is nice to see this because the 3 films that are represented by these are fantastic. And One Night in Miami, we've talked about this on Sat Matt in the last few weeks. So it's nice to see that. I think that was a nice thing to see, and it'll make me want to tune in to the broadcast.
Just scrolling, it's a very diverse list of of nominees in every
yes.
category,
Yes.
and that's really nice to see. That does thrill me.
And just talking about director, we've got David Fincher for Mank, Regina King for One Night in Miami, Aaron Sorkin for The Trial of the Chicago 7, Chloe Zhao for Nomadland, and Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman. So, I mean, that's right there. There's a lot of great stuff going on. The one thing I did see that I'm going to root for tremendously is on the television series categories: Best Actor, Jason Sudeikis for Ted Lasso, and for Best Television Series, I'm hoping he and the show win, because that was one of the bright spots of this past year for us.
For me, it's The Flight Attendant, and I'm thrilled to see Kaylee Cuoco get recognized.
Oh, okay.
She was
a
revelation in that series. I was so impressed. Went in completely dubious that she could pull that off, and she was fantastic. So I'm glad she's getting recognized.
And that show also in the Best Television Series nominee. And we've also seen a couple things to note is Chadwick Boseman has a posthumous, my pronunciations are off today.
We'll fix it in post. Get it?
Yeah, in post. Post.
Boom.
Pete and Andy will do that. That's wonderful. So he's got a nomination for Best Actor in a Motion Picture and Drama. There's a couple. Riz Ahmed is in there. Anthony Hopkins, Gary Oldman. We've got a couple of interesting things there. It was also kind of amusing, I think, or surprising to some people to see that Hamilton is showing up because Lin-Manuel Miranda has a nomination for the acting for that. And people are like, wow, really? And yeah, because it did. The release of the film version of it was this past year. So,
but no Leslie Odom or Debbie Diggs, I noticed, or any of the women, right?
Right. Correct. Yeah, which for surprised a few people. And then really surprising, a snub, if you want to call it this, Da 5 Bloods and One Night in Miami for actual film nominations. That was not there in the lists. So surprising for that. Hollywood Foreign Press. Interesting to see what they picked there. So
Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, hosting again.
Yes.
So for that, I'll be showing up just for that. No matter what was nominated, I know that I'll have a great time watching them host the show again.
Ricky Gervais was losing me.
No,
I like him in general,
Yes.
but year after year, it was like I don't know. He doesn't want to be there.
I was just going to say, his last time, he made a real strong case for not returning, right?
Yes,
I think that's what his point was. Yeah, we got it. No, that's really good you mentioned that. With Tina and Amy returning as hosts, maybe we should turn our attention to another out-of-this-world reunion. That's right. Buck Rogers might be back. Maybe.
Oh, thank God.
Okay, now look. All right, first of all, Buck Rogers, science fiction character. It's from, I think it first appeared in a some sort of novella, Armageddon 2419 AD. I think this is like early 20th century. Famous character, popularized by the great 2-season run, but we don't count the second season because the second season is garbage. We only count the first run of the 1979 amazing science fiction television series Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, starring Gil Gerard, Aaron Gray, and Mel Blanc. We will not forget Mel Blanc because he was vital to that first season.
Wait, Aaron Gray of Silver Spoons fame?
Yes.
Ooh.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Do you only know Aaron Gray by Silver Spoons?
Yes, of course.
Just so I can put in the description here, I grasped my hand onto my open mouth. No, she's the role that made her known was Wilma Deering, Colonel Wilma Deering from Buck Rogers in the 25th Century.
And her silver suit, her silver skin tight jumpsuit or whatever.
Yes, I mean that was okay. So let me digress.
As whatever 9-10-year-old Rob watching Buck Rogers, right?
Yeah, I mean, really, actually, like 7 or 8,
okay,
and even then, that changed you. One of the great things about the show, I think most people do know the show because it had a phenomenal first-year run, and then they brought it back and they changed everything for the second season, and there are YouTube videos aplenty that dive into the reasons for this, and they ruined the show. But here's the thing. Here is the gem you have to find. Go on YouTube, search for Buck Rogers 25th Century movie intro. Because here's what everyone forgets. They tried to release a theatrical release of the show, of the first 2 episodes. But the movie version, the intro, everyone knows the famous theme song. It actually has lyrics.
Oh, no.
And the lyrics are some of the trippiest things you will ever hear. I mean, it's literally like, I have them right here. Far beyond the world I've known, far beyond my time. What am I? Who am I? What will I be? Where am I going? And what will I see?
I feel like I can hear Kermit singing that with his banjo. Is that...
Searching my mind for some truths to reveal.
Nice.
That was there, That was unprepared, but I mean, it's not bad. Here's the other reason why you need to see it. Because it's maybe perhaps the most inappropriate opening titles for any movie geared towards 7 to 12-year-old boys. Because in true 1979 fashion, here's what the intro is. It's that song played against Gil Gerard, like in his flight suit, in a surreal, like darkly lit set. And there's just female characters all dressed in various forms of undress, including Aaron Gray, which is insane. And they're all just sort of like slithering around him. It's
so they're trying
absurd.
to do a James. They're trying to do a James Bond.
Yes,
intro
that's.
thing.
But I mean,
low budget. Yeah,
but they didn't. It's just, you gotta see it just because you'll just go, what is this? And then you'll never get that tune out of your head, and it'll be played at your funeral, which is what I plan for my. Anyway, that's fine. So,
Ooh, that took a turn.
Okay. That took a real big turn, but here's why this is important, because George Clooney is attached to possibly one of two projects that are going to resurrect this character. They're saying a series. There's been rumors that it was a who knows now, because again of the world we live in. But I just thought this was interesting in that that's ripe for a reboot, and George Clooney is interesting, and okay, it's going to be a big deal when it finally gets made, if it gets made.
So I was surprised that there was a dispute, because I thought this. I know the series from the 70s, but I know the original source material is much earlier. So I thought this has got to be in public domain. So why is there a legal dispute? But apparently it's 1928 was the first Buck Rogers. So it's still the Buck Rogers estate people or whatever claim ownership of the legitimate rights that they've sold to one studio. And then you've got another saying, no, they've actually got the legal rights. And so this may just get held up for enough years for it to eventually just go into public domain. You both do whatever you want with your Buck Rogers, and then we'll have two.
It'll be the Camptown races of reboots.
There we go. Yes.
Oh. So it'll be interesting to see, but it's I do find it, like you said. I thought this was public domain by now too,
right.
At least the character, unless they really are trying to reboot a particular version, which who knows. But it's between who is it, Skydance and Legendary Pictures, and they're all just trying to figure this out. So
yeah. And
we'll see what happens.
The funny thing is, I don't see this as like the untapped cash cow. That like, if we get we get this, we're set. We're going to have the hugest franchise ever. It's Buck Rogers.
It's Buck Rogers.
It might
and if
be
it doesn't
okay.
involve, I mean, who do you cast as Tweaky? I don't know. I mean, and see, Mandy, I'm going to send you links. You got to check this out. All right. Well, listen, if they can't bring Buck Rogers back, then what will we be watching in the future? Well, apparently that answer is a series about a woman whose breasts talk to her. Wow. Late addition here to the news. This was breaking news at the time of recording. It's Saturday, but whatever. So Salma Hayek, who's been in the news, she's promoting her new film with Owen Wilson, and she has got a 2-year deal with HBO Max. And her first project is apparently going to be a comedy where a 40-year-old woman's boobs start to talk to her. I don't know where we're supposed to go with that, but I did find it interesting. Now, here's the deal. For any of you who are thinking you're a pig, Rob,
no,
hold on. You never know, because I know no, it's okay. It's totally fine. Here's the thing that's interesting is the reason why I bring this up. One, again, you're seeing some real aggressive moves by streaming services. So this is continuing where we are going in terms of entertainment in the not so distant future. But this is an adaptation of Leslie Lur's upcoming novel, A Boob's Life: How America's Obsession Shaped Me and You, which the book is actually due out on March 2nd. The series will be a half-hour comedy about Leslie, a woman turning 40 and in crisis, whose life gets turned upside down when her boobs start talking to her, forcing her to look at herself in a completely new light. The quote that they had about this when they announced this sort of, leaking sort of this deal is that Salma Hayek said, "In A Boob's Life, we use breasts as a metaphor for the constant judgment women are submitted to, creating a collective sensation that no matter what we do, we are never enough. In this show, we give the breast a voice that takes us through the life of a woman from a unique perspective that often we don't dare to see.
Right. It makes sense to me, and it intrigues me. And assuming it's akin to the vagina monologues and women dealing with women's issues and body dysmorphia and expectations, and I love that it's a comedy. I think it's going to have some probably quite heartfelt moments, but good for them for keeping it light.
It sounds like a good take, and something as I'm an HBO Max fan, I will be looking forward to this.
Well, keep us abreast if you watch it.
Nice.
Thank you, because I could not have done that. That would not. No, that wouldn't have worked.
That's why I'm here, guys.
But no, it's
So Rob, is this fall into the domain of things that you definitely will not watch with your daughter? Or is it something of like, let's watch this together and have a laugh? What is the comfort level on you with this one?
Steve knows that I have made questionable choices in the movies that I've watched with my daughter. My daughter this is the month, her birthday month. She's turning 18. She's an adult.
Oh,
okay. She's okay. So we're getting there. No, I don't think anything. This is actually a show we'll probably watch, but the show will be probably out after she has gone to college. So we'll have to talk about it some other time. But there's a couple movies we have to get into this summer before she leaves.
Human Centipede?
Serious things.
No, am I not allowed to say that?
Oh, no. The sequel, 2. Because 2, you got to watch out for people. Never mind. That's not even going there. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. If there's one thing everyone's in agreement on is that movie theaters are making less money these days. I just wanted to slip this in because I did think this was a very amazing story. This comes from charter.co. It's a website. It's a website that explores data storytelling. And they had this whole thing about the analysis of the box office, taking data from Box Office Mojo. And yes, it's focused on domestic box office here in the United States, but applicable across the globe. And 2 things that blew my mind. So right now, cinemas across the United States are taking in between $10 and $15 million in weekly admissions revenue so far in 2021. Last year in January, they were averaging $200 million a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that could be a problem.
Yikes.
Here's where it gets worse. You think, well, that's a problem. Here's where it's actually even, and I know AMC's been in the news in the last few weeks financially, if you've been paying attention to this. So AMC in 2019, a full year before COVID hits, made just a 2% operating profit. Their 2% operating profit in terms of what they did. But get this, they didn't make that profit because when they applied their debt, they actually lost $149 million in 2019.
Ooh.
Wait, and you'd say, oh, is there a silver lining? No, because here's the deal. In losing that $149 million, the 2019 report also showed that they spent $279 million to sell $1.7 billion in food and beverages. They made 84% gross profit on refreshments.
Well, everybody knows the high margins.
Well, no, but I mean, I don't know if people know it's that much, right?
True, yeah.
That's a crazy amount. But the fact that you've got something like that, and you still lost money before COVID.
Wah, wah.
So what's going to save theaters? What's going to bring everything back? I'll tell you what's going to bring it back. Good trailers, because that's going to get you thinking ahead to those golden days. And we've got some amazing trailers today. Mandy, you sniped the first spot.
I did.
Yeah, I know. Because I tried to mess you up last time, and then that wasn't going to happen. That turned bad. Can you tell us what trailer you bring to the table today?
I can indeed, but I feel like I'm underinformed, as always. That's who I am and what I'm about. It's called Son of the South, and it is based on a true story, which always makes me feel iffy, but the story of a young white man who really participates in the civil rights movement in the South and takes on seemingly his town and a bunch of Klansmen and racists and stands with his African-American neighbors and suffers the consequences.
This is June 22nd, 1961. Can you recall your earliest memories of race?
You grab that bat and you do what's right.
I don't think so.
This is in your blood. All right, this is where you belong, boy.
Montgomery's a pretty town.
With a pretty ugly side to it.
Get out of here!
I was in a riot, and I walked right through it, unharmed.
What is the point you're trying to make?
Maybe I could go around college campuses talking to students about the Negro cause.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
Son, I'm starting to wonder if you are aware of the poison in the apple that you have bitten into.
Yeah, I thought this looked. I thought it looked very powerful. I was surprised too at the cast.
Yes, amazing cast.
I didn't recognize anybody.
What? Brian Dennehy? You had to
I did recognize Dennehy. Yeah,
you gotta recognize your Dennehy's, right? Yes. Okay.
Yes, but I don't know Lucas Still. Is that Lucas Till?
Lucas Till.
That's the lead. I don't know who that is.
Because apparently you have not watched Hannah Montana the movie.
Well,
I have indeed, Steve.
Well, apparently he's in that.
Okay, now I know who he is.
There you go.
No, but I mean, I prefer not knowing the lead actor. Then there's no preconceived notions. I'm not watching like Matthew McConaughey pretend he's this person.
Yes.
I will be more invested. And it looks powerful, so. But I couldn't find when or where it will be released.
Oh, it's already out. It was out yesterday. It was out yesterday, February 5th.
And where can I watch the film I selected but don't know anything about?
Well, okay, so it's being released by Clear Horizon Entertainment and Vertical Entertainment. It was not clear because it was originally, it already had its world premiere back in August of last year. But
the Venice Film Festival or something?
Right. I could not figure out if it's going to be streaming, and what I would assume. Yeah, no, see, I think they are going for a theatrical release because it's nothing, nobody's got it out on streaming or anything like that. So it's probably a theatrical release, but check it out because it looked amazing. Brian Dennehy for sure. Julia Ormond is in it, which I think is amazing. Haven't seen her in a while.
Where has she been? Yeah.
Right. And Lucy Hale, if you're a Pretty Little Liars fan or other things, you'll know who Lucy Hale is. She looks like she's actually got a decent Southern accent in this, so definitely, but looks powerful. And it's based on, if you're wondering what's the true story it's based on Bob Zellner's autobiography, The Wrong Side of Murder Creek, a White Southerner in the Freedom Movement. Once again, Son of the South, out on February 5th. Excellent. Great pick.
Oh, this is one that it was really slim pickings this weekend, and so it didn't come up in any of my searches. So I was like, okay, it's not as bad as I thought. This is a nice one that it feels like. I don't know. This always reminds me of like I can imagine like 10 years from now, like middle schoolers are going to have to watch this movie as part of like social studies class or something. It's one of these like important stories that tackles it and does a nice job of giving it some historical perspective that even though it's so far distant, that kids will be able to relate to this in some way, I hope.
Right. And an un-Mandy-like choice. The next one is more one of my movies.
I was totally surprised you didn't take this one because I saw this. I'm like, oh, that's Mandy's pick. Let me keep looking for things because she's going to be all over this one. And
I'm trying to change it up.
No, that's awesome because I looked at this one and my wife's like, no, that's your pick. I'm like, well, she's like, no, that's your kind of thing because this is Moxie, which is a story of a girl that is fed up with the sexist and toxic environment in her high school, and she finds inspiration from her mother's rebellious past to start a protest, and she publishes a zine that sparks a whole school-wide coming-of-age revolution, and this is coming on Netflix March 3rd, directed by Amy Poehler, who also plays the mom, but we've got Marcia Gay Harden, Ike Barinholtz, which, as someone that has been a teacher in schools, could totally relate to his situation of girls confronting him and then him looking and seeing, this is being filmed. I need to go to the bathroom. I need to exit the scenario right away because I'm not winning no matter what I do in this one. It's a no-win situation. I'm bailing out of this. But this is like right in my wheelhouse of like teenagers, girls asserting, their power and taking charge of things and confronting the things that have just been, oh, well, boys will be boys, or just that's the way it is. And it's like, no, it shouldn't be that way. And it's great to see, aging Gen X being able to pass the baton to the next generation and, get some, Bikini Kill music going on there. Love that.
Hey, Mom, what do 16-year-olds care about?
When I was 16, all I cared about was smashing the patriarchy and burning it all down.
Oh, my God.
Girls constitute a revolution.
Did you hear rankings are already starting? Emma Cunningham's just going to get ranked most bangable for the second year in a row.
Kiara Pascal for best ass.
Caitlin Price will take best rep. It's so nice not to be on anyone's radar.
Totally.
You gonna miss me?
Seriously?
We going?
Oh.
Can I help you?
I don't know, can you?
He's bothering you. He's harassing me. If you use that word, that means I have to do a bunch of stuff. You know that your school is weird, right?
Ignore Mitchell. If you keep your head down, we'll move on and bother somebody else.
I'm gonna keep my head up. High.
Why have we all accepted it? Like no one even blinks.
Me and my friends protested everything. We made a ton of mistakes, but you're glad you did it all right. Of course. What are you gonna do? Nothing?
When I'm watching this trailer, you immediately get the Mean Girls vibe, but not in a way like there was no. I was trying to think to myself, oh, is there like some funny thing I could say about it? No, there isn't, because it's in the genre, and you know how good Mean Girls is. This looks just as good, and it has its own voice. Like it's its own thing, and I feel like it will have just as much of a social and also an emotional impact that Mean Girls does in terms of what teenagers are dealing with. So
yes,
I'm totally excited. Had not heard about it. I'm very much looking forward to this.
Got about a month to wait, but coming on Netflix.
Right up my alley as well.
We should do like a Netflix watch party and all watch it together in our jammies with some popcorn.
I love it.
Let me know when we're doing that.
I am there.
And I'll bring my daughter along, and she'll just be like, Dad.
Well, this actually looks good for her.
No, it does.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's with her dad. It's I mean.
Totally no. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. No, that's a great pick. And then finally, okay, now I'm just going to tell you, I'm bringing you're going to say, wait, Rob, we've already, this movie has been brought up before on Sat Matt. It's Coming to America, the sequel. However, no wait. New trailer.
Yes.
Which is insane because this is due to come out on March 5th. And you'd say to yourself, did they need to cut a second trailer like this close to it? Apparently they did. Now, the reason why I bring this one up is I love the original. It was a seminal movie. I know growing up, especially when we were in high school. I think that was the late 80s. Just absolutely loved it. All quoted it all the time. Arsenio Hall and Andy Murphy, just fantastic. And the thing I was worried about, as much as I was excited about this, I was like, well, is this just hey, why don't we make another Coming to America movie? We have a couple truckloads of cash. Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall, everyone else would like some of that cash. Let's just do it. Here's what you get out of this trailer. There's a story. And the story is not just more of the same. He finds that he's got a son that he didn't know that he had fathered back in New York City. And he's got a bunch of daughters now back in Zamunda. And there's going to be a whole thing that's going to go back and forth between, well, can one of his daughters not become the queen of Zamunda, of the fictional nation that they're a part of? What I love, though, about what you can see in this trailer is you see a lot more of that story. You realize that there's a whole other subplot that ridiculously involves Wesley Snipes' character of General Izzy, who is basically trying to overthrow the government, it sounds like, overthrow the royalty of the country. Did not know that, did not see that coming. And just all the silly references to, I mean, there's a shot of a sunrise that looks like it's pulled right out of Lion King,
yes.
Which, they're doing. There's a Wakanda conversation that is just awesome, and I love that. And you got everybody. You almost got, it looks like the entire cast is back. But you also got Tracy Morgan, you got Wesley Snipes. It's really going to be, I think it's actually going to be very funny. And it's Amazon Prime Video on March 5th. So we've got something there also to look forward to.
Hey! What you doing back here? Mufasa! Say it again, feel right in his...
I've just discovered that I may have a son here in this land.
How much child support is she getting from?
The king pays no child support.
No child support for 30 years and you came back? You was a dummy!
First Andy was going to give you grief because or Pete, I can't remember which of them picked it first, but I think that was a teaser because this felt like
that was the teaser, right?
It was the teaser. So I'm like, no, Rob's bringing the full trailer, which gives us so much more of the story. Because based on the teaser, I wasn't that interested, but there is a lot more going on in this story that I thought, okay, this isn't the quick cash grab. They actually thought about tackling some issues like the whole, well, should the daughter be the heir since she's the one that's been raised there, all of that. I think there's some substance to this versus just a retread of the same old jokes, which is what we seem to get from the trailer, which is a lot of the barbershop guys, all of that. And I thought, seeing that, this is intriguing me to maybe give this one a shot.
I would have been in just for a reunion of dumb jokes and rehashing. I love Coming to America, so I would have been excited for that, knowing it's got some depth and maybe some other things going on. Fantastic bonus. And I'm curious to look at Coming to America through today's lenses. It feels quite politically incorrect on a lot of levels. So I'm curious if it's going to match that tone or update it or top it. You know, maybe if you go, maybe you could come all the way back around to politically correct if you push it. So I'm curious and excited.
I totally agreed. Yeah. That's what I mean, I'm thinking too, because I mean, we have had my daughter watch this movie, right? The original. And she did. She thought it was incredibly funny. And she thought it was, a little bit of it was, wait. And I always have to remind her, the 80s is just full of movies that time changes everything, right? But she's still, the humor there is great because the humor is just funny. And we've said, like, I really am curious to see how they've adapted to today. Yes. And I'm sure they have, because I'm sure there are things that are to be said in this. So I'm looking forward to it.
And I think Eddie Murphy has the equity built up where he can get away with a lot more than if a young filmmaker said, we're going to come out with this movie. They would have to really be careful. I don't think he does. I think he can go for it. So definitely. I'm excited.
Very cool. Well, all right. So hopefully I redeem myself on Coming to America. We'll see how that goes out. Okay, now we have. I tried to see how creative I could get with this. I want to do a little segment in the middle here of the show. So this past week, since it's the first week of February, we have maybe one of the greatest non-Christmas holiday movie holidays ever. And what, of course, am I talking about? Yes, we know about this in America. It is February 2nd, Groundhog Day. And, of course, the aptly titled Groundhog Day movie starring Bill Murray, Andy McDowell, and Chris Elliott. We watch this movie, try to watch this every year on February 2nd. I love this movie. I hope you all enjoy this movie as well. I'm just going to side note on this. I think this is one of the most spiritually powerful movies ever made. And you're going to say to yourself, seriously? Yes, because the point of this movie is that life is a journey that, yes, can be difficult and there can be suffering. And if you can transform yourself to be of service to others and be selfless, you find amazing joy in the journey. That's the point of the movie. Like, yes. Harold Ramis, props to it's one of the most powerful movies. And I'll be honest, like, there's a scene in the movie when he finally has the interaction with the homeless man. I'm not going to lie. I tear up every time I see it. Right? Because it's just this great moment where you finally, like he has this Phil Connors, this narcissistic sort of weatherman, this character where he's finally like making the jump of, no, my life is for others. It's not for just my own benefit. Right. I got really serious and I got real, I didn't expect that. Well, let's destroy that now. So here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to have a real short, this is a short true and false Groundhog Day edition, right? Of, I'm going to give you a statement. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to see whether or not you believe this is true or false. And this is about Groundhog Day, the movie from 1993, directed by Harold Ramis, who actually also appears in the movie. All right. So, Mandy, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. True or false?
False.
Bill.
Do I not know the rules? Okay.
No, hold on. Bill Murray was not the first choice to play Phil Connors. True or false?
True.
Oh, you got that right. That is correct. Okay, this is the only one I have a bonus on. Do you know who the part was actually offered to first?
Mickey Rooney. I don't know.
So, According to legend, Bill Murray actually was the third person offered the role. It was originally offered to Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks turned it down because he was actually afraid that audiences wouldn't accept of evil Tom Hanks because he obviously begins as a scoundrel at the beginning of the movie. And then, again, according to legend, the second person on the list was Michael Keaton, who read the script and didn't understand it.
But then he made Birdman.
Right.
Well,
exactly.
Now, perspective there. And he did, I think he did admit in an interview at some point, he regretted the decision because he's like, oh, no, I could have, I mean, after seeing what happened, obviously, that'd have been great. Okay, you got that true. Okay, that's very good.
Wow.
Okay,
and I think both those actors would have been great.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think it would have, Tom Hanks would have crushed it, actually. It's kind of interesting that he didn't take it because Bill Murray's just, he's excellent. I mean, he's excellent in the role, but you think of Tom Hanks and you go, oh, yeah, I could totally see Tom Hanks doing that. That makes perfect sense. You'd have connection with Andy McDowell. I mean, yeah, anyway. All right, Steve.
Okay.
True or false? The movie was filmed in Pennsylvania.
False.
You are correct. So basically, here's the deal. Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, where this movie is actually set, doesn't actually have a town center that looks good on camera. So they shot it in Illinois. Punxsutawney got their revenge because they banned the character of Punxsutawney Phil, who is the Groundhog, from appearing in the movie. Boo.
Oh, okay.
So, but yes, you are correct. False. Oh,
okay.
Wow. Both of you. Okay, very good. This is good. I didn't try to make this hard, but I mean, this is good. Mandy, your turn.
Yes.
True or false? Now, this film obviously takes place in early February, very cold, wintry. The snow was fake. True or false?
False.
Oh, it's true.
Damn.
It was fake. So apparently this film, and this is one of those amazing movie magic stories, filming took place between March and June of 1992. So, and the place is Woodstock, Illinois. And at some points of the days of the production, it reached 80 degrees. So, I mean, I cannot believe they do that with that much fake snow because there are scenes, they're coming out of like the bed and breakfast. It's snow.
Yeah. Right.
And they're wearing bundled coats and scarves and just how people, actors, are not glistening in situations like that. Yeah. I mean, you put me in a coat like in that 80 degree, and I'm losing 10 pounds every 2 hours. Like, I don't know what. Anyway, that's amazing. All right. That's a credit to the movie. Credit to movie making magic.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. All right. Steve, true or false? Acclaimed actor Michael Shannon appears in his first movie role.
Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon.
Is he in the diner? Is he somebody in the diner? I'm going to say yes, he's in the diner scene.
You are correct. He is. Now, do you guys have any idea who he's playing?
No, is he? Oh, no, I don't. I have this vague memory of it, but I don't know if he's like the busboy or somebody, or if he's a trucker or something like that in there.
So he's okay. This blew my mind because I did not know this. This is his first on-screen movie role that's credited. He is Fred, the newlywed. You know, the two young kids that he talks to and says, "Oh yeah, these two kids, they're going to get married, but he doesn't know that she's got the jitters." And then there's a whole mess up. And then at the end, they've gotten married. They come to see Phil Connors in the party, and they're like, "Oh, thank you so much, Phil." That's Michael Shannon.
Oh, wow.
So he's not a psycho?
Yes.
That's crazy.
We don't know what happens to this character.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
No, but I mean, that's amazing. And there's a story you can read online that apparently Bill Murray and Michael Shannon had this weird, awkward encounter where a young Michael Shannon goes up to Bill Murray at one point. He's listening to some music and he's like, "Oh, do you like that group?" And Bill Murray kind of doesn't trash him, but it doesn't go well. And then Harold Ramis had Bill Murray apologize to him, and it made it more awkward. Just like, oh, man.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. All right. So, okay. All right. Well, all right, Mandy, here you go. You can tie it up with wins here. Okay. This is it. I only have 5 questions. It wasn't meant to be a contest. There's no winners. We're all winners.
We're all winners.
All right. Here we go. 2 actors in this movie stopped speaking for almost 20 years as a result of the production. True or false?
True.
Oh, do you know who they are?
Well, Bill Murray is, he doesn't make friends wherever he goes. It's not his brother, is it?
No, but
his brother. That would be so sad.
Well, his brother's in the movie. That's right.
Yeah.
His brother's in the movie. He plays the one of the Punxsutawney officials. Yes, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
No. Any other guess? Okay, so this is the infamous story. Harold Ramis and Bill Murray had a big falling out after this movie. After the production.
I think I was thrown because you said two actors, but I did know that they had a falling out.
I teased it because Harold Ramis does portray the one doctor he goes to visit when he's trying to figure out what's wrong with him. Yeah. See, I had to make it
tricky. I see what you did to me.
Wow.
So sorry. They had a falling out, and it's, I mean, they've both admitted it. They talked about it, and fortunately, Bill Murray was able to reconcile with him before Harold Ramis's death.
Good.
Yes.
So it didn't. Good for that. That we're very glad for. Taking in mind the wonderful story of the movie, that's a good thing because relationships are important. Okay, that's it. Well, that was good.
Yay.
Well, I mean, it's a tie. Like I said,
lot.
everyone wins. Did you? Well, and again, Groundhog Day. Watch it.
Yes.
You don't have to watch it on Groundhog Day.
No.
It's a wonderful movie that, honestly, I think is an absolute classic. So
we took my son. It was his first drive-in towards the beginning of the pandemic when drive-ins were gaining, popularity, and we took him, and it was really fun. It is a great movie. So
yeah, I love it. Okay, it's movie list time now. This whole Oliver Stone origin series, and last week they had Conan, and let's say thank you, Ray, for his, because we could have had hero poses with swords or spoons, whatever. Kids, we could have had a wonderful talk about kids witnessing family murders and then seeking revenge. That would have been fun.
Yes.
But instead, we ended up with punching animals.
Yeah, I've got PETA calling in to the show, if that's cool.
Yeah.
Today's topic, animals were harmed in the making of this film.
Yes, it was.
I mean, they weren't.
No. Yes, they were. Yes, they totally were.
Well, except for one. There's one movie on my list. Let me just tell you something.
Sure.
It's not an animal, but I mean, anyway, all right. So we're gonna go in the order, of course.
Yes, Mandy gets to go first. This was a tough one because in my research, I ended up with like all these horrible movies from like the 30s and 40s that were like animals were like killed or injured on sets and everything. And I thought, that's not what I'm looking for. Like trying to what are the search terms to help me find movies where animals are being punched? And it turned into like just a laundry list of like Hollywood list of shame with animal treatment. So so that's not my list. So I was able to find things. And Andy, we'll see how these lists go. But Andy threw down the gauntlet and said, way to go, guys. This list is going to be a bunch of cheats or a bunch of Kung Fu Panda movies. And I was like, no, there are plenty of movies out there that we can fit into this. So I'm looking forward to see what everybody brings to the table.
Kung Fu Panda's on my list. Thanks, Steve.
Oh, but that's brilliant. Okay, wait. No,
but I'm not starting with it. I'm starting with one that I think you guys might have, right? Because I want to...
You want to get the steal.
Yeah. But I'm debating between two. But I will go with the first thought that occurred to me was Andre the Giant punching the shrieking eel in Princess Bride.
Oh!
Whoa!
Just me?
I did not have. That's
like
awesome.
For sure, we're all going to write that.
Oh my gosh! No, you're right. I should have. Shame on me.
That's amazing. Oh, bravo!
Thank you.
Oh wow, I'm speechless. I did not. I totally thought that.
I hang my head in shame because I'm like, I in my head I'm thinking I can see actors punching animals, and that one did not come to mind. So there we go. So
Steve, you are
all right. So you are next. I cannot claim credit for this list by myself. I received help and support from family members on this one. And my wife said, there's a movie where there's a guy and he punches a horse in the face. And I was like, yes, I know. And we were with friends, and my friend looked at me and said, Blazing Saddles. And I'm like, you're absolutely right. In Blazing Saddles, Mongo knocks out a horse because
you stole it.
He's tying his bull up, and you can't park that there, and clocks the horse.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
That's a steal, because that was my second one.
Okay.
So, there's a great story about that like Mel Brooks got complaints.
I can imagine. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like, oh, yeah, because people were like, and then if you can do a search on this, there's a lot of stunt people will talk about, no, like, you can train the horse to do that. Like, yes, that is not, no, he did not connect. Right. I mean, it's all good, everybody. Nothing bad's going to happen. That's a great pick. All right, well, my next one, I kind of tried to get a theme, but I ended up I have two. I have the same actor in two movies unless one of them gets stolen. First one up the list, I'm going to go with Jackie Moon fights Dewey the Bear. That's right. Semi-Pro. 2008 American sports comedy from New Line Cinema. Please tell me you've seen this, right? No.
I'm
so uncultured.
It's a Will Ferrell thing, right? Semi-Pro,
it's a
right?
Will Ferrell movie.
Okay.
It's a ridiculous comedy. Woody Harrelson's in it. Maura Tierney. It's the days like the ABA before they merged with the NBA.
Okay.
And just one of these like teams that is like the tropics and all the ridiculous things. The team's like in a small town. They have to do all these ridiculous things to get people to come to the games. One of them is Jackie Moon, who's Will Ferrell's character, fights a bear. It doesn't go well. Kristen Wiig is in it. She's like the handler of the bear. And there's this great scene where she's like, look, tell me what you want the safe word to be. Because if things get out of control with the bear, and he's like, I don't know. It's a bear. I can take on a bear. She's like, all right, let's make the safe word Spumoni. And then it all goes downhill. It may have started going downhill moments before I got to that. But, Mandy, help us out. What's your next pick?
Well, I immediately thought of animation because I'm not a monster and I don't watch movies where human beings punch animals.
Oh.
But in the gripping tale, Madagascar 2, Escape from Africa, Alex the lion is expected to fight and gets punched in the face by another lion. So it's animal on animal brutality, which is such a turn on.
That's a...
No. Just me?
Wow.
Okay.
We went so dark.
Really quick.
Wait. That's not even... Oh, boy. You had me worried at animal on animal, and then...
Yeah. Well... So, Madagascar 2, not a steal? No?
Oh.
Just me? Okay.
No, Madagascar 2 did not. That's amazing, though. Because, again... Okay, all right. Steve, what do you got?
Okay, I'm going to try something here because this is one that I just watched recently. And let me see if I can do this because I thought, okay... This is really obscure, some of these. And it's like, you could say, Rob could say, oh, semi-pro. And I'm like, I don't know. He could be making that up for all I know. He got very detailed. So I thought, I want to bring some evidence with some of these. So I'm going to screen share so that you can see the ridiculousness of...
It's going to be good.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, steal!
In Hard Target, where he grabs the snake. She thinks he's going to kiss him. No. Grab the snake. What does he do? First, he gives it, well, I guess you might say a light tap on the head at first. Yes, but then that's not enough. Nope. You got to punch that snake in the head.
Wait, let it go, though. You got to let it go because the best is yet to come. I mean, hold on.
He's got COVID hair. Look at him.
Oh, here it comes. Ooh.
Just rip the rattle off with his teeth, throw it in the tree. Yes, there we go. John Woo, thank you for bringing us Jean-Claude Van Damme punching a snake in the head.
Hard Target is the name of this movie?
You've never seen Hard Target? You're not a JCVD fan, are you? No.
What with the who now?
Jean-Claude Van Damme. This was what, 92, 93? 93. Wilford Brimley. Yes.
Wilford Brimley's in it. Lance Henriksen is in it.
Lance Henriksen, yes, exactly. I mean, the whole concept is that whole, like, most dangerous game. We've got rich men hunting, military veterans for money. Yes. And good old Jean-Claude in the bayou. Yes, there we are. Hard Target.
Okay. but and we can't watch the whole thing, but because Mandy will just be horrified by this. He takes the snake. He's ripped the rattler off with his teeth.
Yeah, he did.
Snake's still alive, and it's not a real snake, everybody. Don't keep your letters at bay, okay? I'm not talking about animal mutilation here. He's ripped the rattler off. He's like, oh, I'll set a trap. He puts the snake up in a tree with a tripwire. The bad guys are coming in. The guy trips on the tripwire, looks up. Why do you rip the rattler off? So he can't hear it. Snake drops, full-on fake snake, right to the guy's face, right? Guy drops, he dies. Everybody's like, whoa, Lance Henriksen, who's the head bad guy, just looks at the guy on the ground. He lifts the snakes up, and Lance Henriksen blows the head off the snake with his gun.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep. Right up your alley, Mandy. You're kind of similar.
Oh.
I like the term head bad guy.
Because there's a lot.
There's the whole hierarchy of baddies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Head bad
He's
guy.
the CEO bad guy. Got it.
Yes.
I mean, it was the 90s. It's not Time Cop, but it's good. Oh man, come on. All right, there's a story there to be told someday in the future.
Yes.
All right, that's a great pick, and you stole. Okay, now I got to go to my backup. Well, my backup. Okay, yeah, I can make this work. All right, I love superheroes. We all know this. There's nothing more. If I were going to bring this up, all I would say in the words of the boy wonder, "Holy sardine!" That's right, the 1966 Batman movie. Adam West punches a shark.
That's where it's from. I'm like, I know there's a movie where somebody punches a shark. I've seen it.
You're supposedly, like, if you punch them in the nose, they go away, right? This is what my son told me.
Yes.
He punches it in the side of the head, and it's weird. And he's on a helicopter. Robin is piloting the helicopter. They're going after a boat. He gets too much in the water. The shark grabs onto the ladder.
Right.
He comes out of the water. Adam West is just looking down like, throw me the bat repellent spray.
Robin is piloting the helicopter. That's my favorite part.
Yes. And he punches the shark. I gotta tell you something. Make sure if you've never seen that, watch it, because that came out. It was a promotional theatrical release after the first season of the famous 1960s TV series. Everyone's in it.
Oh yes, it's brilliant.
Just if you need to escape,
yes,
please do that. All right, that's a great one. All right, Mandy, bring it home.
Well, the listeners can't see, but I'm hanging my head in shame. I don't think it's fair that Steve pre-shamed me.
I think,
but I do, in fact, have Kung Fu Panda.
No, that is a
totally. No, that was not. No, that's brilliant.
It's totally a legit pick. No, it's a legit pick. Totally. Because number one,
punching.
There's punching, and it's an awesome movie. I love Kung Fu. Love me Kung Fu Panda.
Wait, now are you? Is it the first one?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. No, that one. That is. I love Kung Fu Panda.
As do I. But
which scene are you pulling? What's the moment?
Well, I don't have a specific punch in mind, but there's
the
big,
yes,
the big fight where he, confronts the bad guy, and I'm sure there were punches in that.
Yeah, the king bad guy. Yes,
the head bad guy.
The head bad guy. Yes.
Yeah.
Skadoosh. All right, that's. That's No, I love that. I love that. To me, that is the greatest animated trilogy outside anything Pixar has done. I don't know. I just made that up just now, but I really do think that. I mean, I think that if somebody wants to fight me about it, I probably will lose. But
no.
I really do. I mean, they did so much more than what they were expected to do with those movies. That bravo.
And Jack Black is just so winning in everything he does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. I have a feeling Steve's going to steal another one, and then I'm going to be messed up.
Because the interesting thing is, as Mandy brought up, she had plenty of animal on animal punching, because it says animals punching. It didn't say people punching animals, or it said what is it? It's punching animals, not people punching. Just some type of punching and animals. So I have to thank my brother for this one, because he somehow had just come across it online somewhere, and it's a movie that I remember seeing in the theater as a very young child, and just it's Disney. It's the 70s. It's cheesy. It's Disney actually back in the 70s, minding their own franchise when they decided to go back and revisit the cinematic universe of where men can turn into dogs due to mystical, magical things in the Shaggy DA.
The Shaggy DA.
The Shaggy DA, the sequel from the 70s. And so you have to see what I think is probably some of the greatest punching animal scenes you will ever see. So the setup is apparently our main character is a dog. He's in an office, and he is not supposed to be there. So they've called the authorities, and good old Dick Van Patten here blocking the way. And this dog comes up and bam! So if you have to see that, it is quite the moment of a man in a dog suit punching Dick Van Patten in the face.
Oh, and the Dick mustachioed gentleman at the desk looks like a lady in drag. Looks like a lady in old man makeup.
Old man makeup. So that is my punching animal final entry, the Shaggy DA.
Brilliant. Make sure you go see that. Brilliant twist. Dick Van Patten never had a chance.
No, he didn't.
He took full force of paw.
Good old right hook.
Dang. He's out. He is out before his left foot leaves the ground. It's just yikes. All right. Well, that's brilliant. All right, here we go. All right, so my intro to my final pick here. Remember the politician who punched a baby? Well, he's at it again. He just punched Uggy, the dog from the Academy Award-winning film The Artist. This is a line from Jay Roach's 2012 American political satire comedy The Campaign, starring Will Ferrell. Surprise. And Zach Galifianakis. There's just a ridiculous scene in this movie. And I got to tell you, that's my days in politics. When I went to go see this film, I remember thinking to myself, wow, this movie is way more realistic than anyone would ever want to believe. It's absurd satire of just an outrageous congressional campaign. And there's a scene where Will Ferrell goes to punch Zach Galifianakis' character, and he gets out of the way, and there's a dog sitting on this little chair who is apparently some star from some movie, and full on punches the dog in the face. You don't see the actual. Well, yeah, I think you do. You definitely see the rubber bone on the ground, which kind of tells you that, well, the dog got punched. But,
yeah.
I mean, was the dog hurt? I don't know. Maybe or maybe not. Well, that's okay. That's a pretty varied list of stuff. So touche, Ray, and you other satmat people. You thought you were going to mess us up. You did not.
Oh.
When I read the topic, I was like, I'm out. Like, I don't, I can't think of anything. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh. And then it made me realize what a sick world we live in. That we're all like, yeah, no problem coming up with movies where animals are getting punched.
Okay, so wait, a little trivia for this too. Who do you think, who's hit the most animals in movies? What actor?
Will Ferrell sounds like.
Yeah, I think so.
You would think it's Will Ferrell. It's not. It's the heir apparent that the reason why we're even having this discussion. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Because I know in the Conan sequel, they addressed it because he apologizes to the camel.
Right.
And I think the camel spits in his face. Or is that in the first something like that.
Yeah, later on he's coming into Tisco. Yeah, he's in the caravan or something.
I'm really sorry. Yes, exactly. But what other animals has Arnold punched?
He punched the reindeer in Jingle All the Way.
Oh, okay.
Which didn't make the list. I mean, it could have, but I was, Jingle. He full on punches the reindeer. I think he's got 2 camels, and I think he's got 2 dogs. I think he's got 5.
Oh my gosh.
So he's at 5. Will Ferrell's at 2, which we just talked about the 2. Paul Rudd's in there. Oh,
what?
Paul Rudd, Anchorman.
What? No,
Anchorman.
Paul Rudd. What are you doing punching animals, my sweet Paul Rudd?
It's Anchorman.
Yeah, it is Anchorman.
What is he punching? Brian Fantana? What does he punch?
Yeah, I think a bear.
Bear's okay. Yeah, that's
because they fall into the
bear. Yeah,
the bear pit. Yeah,
I think he did. Yeah, and the bear's got it coming. Everyone knows that.
Oh yeah,
they're not. I mean, not panda bears or koala bears or polar bear. Oh no, polar bears. Your general pedestrian brown bear. Sure.
All right.
Sure. If you. Well, speaking of dark, jeez. All right. Okay, so this is it. Let's pick the next one. Continuing number 3 in the Oliver Stone origin 80s series. It's Scarface. Which, Well, I don't know what to say. What do you think? We always have our wonderful suggestions here, and I think any of these would work. But I kind of want to slip in like small friend introductions. I think that should be a topic.
There's Mini-Me from Austin Powers, too.
Oh, no, don't give them ideas.
Oh.
No, but that's happening. That's happening.
That's
happening.
Wow,
that's fine. But that's right. Yes.
Small friend introductions.
No,
they did not see that happening.
No.
What else? What else? I mean, there's other
over-the-top
things.
accents will lead to a fun discussion, I think.
Oh, yes.
Oh
yes.
Love
Definitely.
It. What else?
I'm reluctant with the "Hey, you're not Cuban" insert ethnic background here of sort of casting things, and I think that could just get ugly and nasty. We probably best
over-the-top
avoid
accents
that.
might cover that. They might.
Yeah, that's true. That probably will cover that quite a bit. Yes, exactly. Okay, and then why don't we go with killing to get ahead? We got to have some violence.
That's a classic.
Yes.
Small friend introductions.
That's going to take it,
Rob,
so it doesn't
that
matter.
Is hilarious.
Yes.
I just like the way you phrased it, and it like took that perfect beat for Steve and me, and then boom.
This was wonderful. All right, so here's the deal. Obviously, you want to be a part of this. What flavor of mayhem would you like to dish out to the hungry hosts on next week's Sat Mat? Well, don't let your frosty treat melt. I'm sticking with the theme that we started with, which is, again, ice cream for breakfast day.
Yes.
Head on over to the Show Talk channel in the Next Reel Discord community, and you can choose the decadent flavor of chaos that is list picking and movie sabotage each week. How do you get access to the Show Talk channel, you ponder? It's as simple as a hungry tummy and a spoon. Just type in thenextreel.com/membership and become a supporter of the Next Reel family of podcasts. For just 100 cents a month, you can become a one-scooper, where you'll join our online community and our Discord server. But wait, no. We know you have a sweeter tooth. For a few dollars more a month, become a two-scooper supporter and join us for the live show streams as we record early access to shows in your very own personal podcast feed and access to the super secret member channels in Discord. Plus, you can now support with a single annual donation at either level. By the way, replace scooper with reeler, because that's what it's really called, and then that all makes sense. And you may be saying, well, I knew that, Rob. Your mediocre attempt at sugary frozen puns is pedestrian. But did you know there's more? Yes, as a Next Reel listener, it's time to get letterboxed. What's letterboxed, you ask? It's an exclusive social network that focuses on movies. No nonsense. It's not like Next Door Neighbor. You don't need to hear about your neighbor's feral cat problem or any of that stuff. It's just movies that you, your friends, and the people that you admire have seen and enjoyed. They're now offering a discount to anyone listening to The Next Reel. Just head to thenextreel.com/letterboxed. Please note that's 2 E's, not 3. Drop the 30, so it's letter boxed with just XD. I got to say that because that's how they are. They're fancy. And you can upgrade your Letterboxd account to Pro or Patron with a 20% off discount. This discount also works for renewals. I got brain freeze now. Well, brings us to the end of another wonderful SatNet. Steve, Mandy, you guys are wonderful. Any final words, any final thoughts as we head off to enjoy more ice cream?
Rocky Road?
Is it a Buck Rogers quote?
No.
The Goonies?
The Goonies.
Oh, I know Goonies.
Sloth.
Yeah.
Oh,
Talking to Chuck?
Sloth.
Rocky Road? Yes.
Gotcha.
Mandy, what you got? What's your favorite ice cream?
Anything with chocolate and peanut butter is my jam. That's where I live. Yeah. It's got to have both, or I won't waste my time.
Okay. I like
I've been known to just melt peanut butter in my microwave and then dump it on whatever ice cream I can find.
Oh.
Because I'm that into that combo.
Wow. I have not done that. Now I've got, there's something to happen for breakfast.
And I like it a little burned, Steve. That's my hot tip for you.
A little burn. Let
the peanut butter get a little burned.
So the sugars you're starting to get a little, caramelization of the sugars. Oh, I'm liking this.
I just changed your life. Yeah.
Yes, you did. Oh, that's, I'm spending my day today. Just big bowl of peanut butter and ice cream.
And now your lives are changed on this episode of SatMat. Until next time, yum.